Welcome to this YouTube channel, Ella Designs Studio. For those who don't know, my name's Lauren. I am a graphic designer, podcast host, shop owner, content creator. I'm all these things. But today, I wanted to go in and talk about a new app that I've been introduced to, and going into it and using it for other client works. It's called Mirro, and it might be something I'm actually investing in. Because I've been using it just for like small projects and stuff, and I just like its interface, and I like how easy it is to just show work to clients. So you could do certain things with this as far as like create whiteboards and other things like that, have your own templates or brainstorm ideas with your other like coworkers or people that you're working with. And it's cool because when you all connect on this project, you can kind of like time yourself, and I just like its platform and the way it's designed. Another alternative to this is actually Transform, that's actually free on most of our Apple devices now, and I might go into that in another video. But I wanted to talk about Miro just because I kind of like the app and I like its interface, and it's free right now. So let's go into pricing as well. So they have a free account. It's always going to be free. There's only 3 boards though. So if you are a collaborative team, or if you're like a business with multiple team members, it might be limited unless you want to pay like $8 or 16 for like, like unlimited boards. But if you want to just start out and like try it out and just see what works for you, I think it's kind of like worth investing in. But they have other things too when you get other like platforms as far as like integrating those other apps and stuff. But I wanted to go over this app because I don't know, it's really cute, and I didn't know about this until like now, so I feel like it's something worth talking about. But let's go in. So this is kind of its setup when you start to log in. They have my boards over here. So here are all the templates that they have, like mind mapping, they have framework, flow charts, brain writing, customer journey. So this is actually great for my UX UI designers, just because it is amazing for like creating mind maps and site maps. So here are some of the templates that they have. They also have community templates. Like I said, the brainstorming ideas. So this is also great too if you actually just want to work on personal projects with like your UX and UI stuff. But yeah, I would say take a look at these templates because I think they're really awesome. Whenever I review an app, I like the simplicity of the design and how easy is it to like work in. Kind of like Figma too when you think about like mind mapping and stuff. But let's go into like a new board. So like I said, you can only use 3 boards. I'm going to use this one just as an example. And they have templates here if you want to just look at one. I might actually look at some of these too. They have, oh wow, templates. So if you are a team, I think this is great for teams actually. If you're like, you have your studio, you have multiple people working in it. We always try to think about like icebreakers. So this is kind of funny. I actually like just instantly, my eye draws towards this one. I think it's kind of cute. So you could use this several ways. So I think ways that I'm going to be talking about today is like, how can you use this, regular like template as well, how to navigate through it, but then also how can you use this in a way where you want to present your work to clients or anything like that. So this is a template that just came up. So it's like a character mismatch. So I guess you make up the character with the products that you have and other things like that. So that's this is what I also like too. I like how simple it is to just grab some of these objects. I think that's kind of what makes it easier for me. It's kind of like Figma it kind of reminds me of Figma in a way, how it like navigates and how I can like look through different things or select different things. But what I like about this is the drag and drop feature compared to Figma. I don't know. I don't want to say I hate Figma. I like Adobe XD better just because of like the drag and drop images. Or maybe I'm just not doing it right. So maybe I just need to look back while I play with this character, because this is actually really cute. I might actually do this for like one of my projects because this is kind of like hilarious. But ooh, I didn't even know they had this. So this is kind of exciting. Like this is kind of adorable how like you could just change characters. I didn't know. I didn't know they had other templates like this. I thought they just had I thought this was just like a brainwork tool, but the fact that you could do like icebreakers with this is kind of cool. But what's also interesting about this, okay, I'm not going to do all that because that is just too much. But what's also interesting about this is that you can also add teams here, like I said. So if you want to add people to your group, or if you want to do certain things, you can add them, and then you could basically see each other work on other things. They also have like a timer for like sessions and stuff like that. Voting, which is kind of cool. You might have to upgrade this, but voting would be kind of cool if you're like working on a project and you're like indecisive, or you're working with a client, you're indecisive of like which way to go. That's kind of a good way to look at that. This is like tracking, so you can actually record this, which is kind of interesting. You can record either what you're saying or what you're going through, and I think that's great, especially when people are working at different time zones and you have different like clients, and you're trying to explain your thoughts, and you're like more of like a verbal person and you want to hear an audio person. Like this is kind of like beneficial, so I think it's great that they have that. So they have a notes feature. A notes feature basically like adding notes to whatever like you want to do, or you can add like certain things, or you can add comments. That's kind of why this also kind of reminds me of Figma as well. It's kind of like adding comments or adding artboards or questions, or this is my favorite part too, like adding sticky notes. If you're like, hey, hell no, I don't like this product or whatever, you could put that there. When I upload these images, right, they're not all over the place. They're right there next to each other. So if you have like 100, 200 different versions of something, right, and you go into your folder and you upload your images, it's going to have all of them in a row, and then you can go in and you can just like break them apart, and it's kind of easy and simple to like navigate like where you're going, right? So let's say with this, right, let's say I have like 3 different versions. So if I had this and it uploaded it like this, right, I could go in and I could show it to my client and be like, hey, I could be like, hey, just drag and drop these, number them, and then I can be like, hey, which version do you like? You can also add text here too, but I could have someone write a sticky and be like, hey, like, don't like this, and then you could change it up, and then you can be like, have a client be like, I love this one, and then it's just easier to like navigate and communicate with your clients, rather than just like, they have so many features now that I've looked at, but I think this, when you're talking about it with a client, is kind of easier just to be like, hey, no, hey, yes. You could do like check marks, you could do no, you could write like little notes like, hey, change this, write little smiley faces or little emojis. But like I said, it's a lot easier, and it's a good way to like navigate your way, and it's just fun to play around with. So like I said, try a free account, doesn't hurt to try it. There's also another feature, like I said, called Transform, which is something similar. The only thing I didn't like with Transform is when I uploaded my logos, it had like a shadow on it. But let me try to upload a logo here. Okay, here's a good example. When I upload these logos, right, they come in like this, but I can just, once they all load, I can rearrange them. Oops. Yeah, once they all load, I can rearrange them the way I wanted it. So I'm just hold shift and everything like that. Change the sizing so that it looks the way it can. Gonna knock these guys out, and I could just put these logos. So even if you have a PNG too, it's gonna like show up as a PNG, which is kind of interesting. And you can just have all of your work just splatted out on the form, and you can write reviews, or while you're like, you could, and that's the thing too, you can show different ways how you're going to present this to your client. So you can do this recording, or like recording your voiceover of like what is the process that you went through, and then when your client wakes up and wants to look at this, they can obviously see what were your thoughts behind this. Or you could present it to them live, but then you can also like write notes of like, hey, this is what they like, this is what they didn't like. Or you can like draw pictures and or add comments too. If you're like a team, be like, hey, change this. So it is kind of like Figma in a way, but I think more of like, if you like more of the brainstorming tools, and you don't want to you don't want to bring your client into a Figma template, you kind of want to bring them to somewhere else, I think this could also be a way to like bring them to another place. But yeah, that is just my review. That's just an overview of why I like Mirro and why I've kind of just like the platform. So if you guys are thinking about using this, just let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to probably be having more little videos like this. And if you have a app or software that you'd like to have reviewed, or even a product related to the design industry or book or related to the design industry or the brand world, I should say, yeah, drop it below and I'll be happy to like review it and my thoughts on it. But that is my idea of Mirro. You guys can sign up for Mirro, and yeah, so hopefully you guys like this video, and always remember to do what your art desires.